Ayo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Jack Phoenix Sean here, and welcome back to Spooky Scary Saturday Part 19. Now, I have one more part to complete this series 2. It will be next Saturday. It will be completed series. And yes, special announcement. I'm wearing a new hoodie because this is from my merch store. You can go and check it out in the description down below. It's right here. I'm wearing the new Phoenix hoodie that I got it by myself, and you guys should go and check it out in the description down below. It's yeah. So yeah, go and check my merch store in the description down below. It will be exactly like that. Now, for me, it's actually a M size, which is actually not that bad. And yes, also for today's part 19, we're gonna be reacting to 3 more animations. It will be spooky scary ones, so quite scary. So I got my drink ready. I got my gallon of green tea. Now usually I don't drink green tea, but this is a gallon, so it's like a big bottle just to get ready. And yeah, if you guys are new to my channel, subscribe if you guys are new. Turn on post notification to get notified when every time I upload a new video, which is Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And today is a little bit quite special because the box, as you guys can see, is actually quite small because I have to resize it because like you guys cannot see the video playing when every time I post a new video. I mean, like when I'm in the middle of reacting to that video, you guys won't be able to see like the characters around this side, so to the right, I guess, to my right. And yes, leave a like on this video. Let's get to 50 likes or more. It will be super appreciated. If you guys like it, do hit the like button like right here and hit the subscribe button. And yes, go and follow all my social medias in the description down below, my Twitter and my Instagram. And of course, go and check out my merch store. I already said it a few times, so you can get this. Alright, and I have released a few hoodies like these. Alright, the hood is like that. But usually I don't put hoodies on. I don't put the hood on because it may look weird and it's not cool anyway. So and I have released new stickers, new mugs, more of these hoodies with beautiful designs. So do check them out, order them, and you will get what I'm wearing right now. So yes, guys, let's get started. Moving on to the first animation right now. Okay guys, so the first animation is called The Hikers Scary Story Animated. And I would like to give a shout out to Nightmare Tales for being inside my video. Shout out to you guys. Now, The Hikers, okay, The Hikers is actually not that bad. So do get your snacks ready. Do get your drink ready, because I already prepared my drink. As well as, I'm going to drink a few right now. A few cola, get a gallon. You may be thinking, who drinks this big one? Well, not say like I want to get high blood pressure, but it's just that I like drinking them. So let's get started. I am still using these headphones because the other one that I'm getting is on the way, so it's coming very soon. So when it's here, I will show it to you guys. Yes. Alright, without further ado, let's start reacting. Nightmare Tales.
In the southern highlands of the Australian state of New South Wales, the Belanglo State Forest is home to an enormous area of plantation pine and native forestry. It's free to access for all and is popular for four-wheel driving, trail bike riding, and forest camping. In December 1989, two American tourists set off into the forest with the intention to spend several days hiking and camping as they made their way from one side of the forest to the other. Both physically fit and experienced in hiking and orienteering, their first day was spent trekking up into the hills to gain a solid viewpoint from which to survey the land around them. From one of the highest points, the view was spectacular, so the couple stopped to rest and take in the beauty of their surroundings.
That's actually quite a nice
Whilst
view.
observing the vastness of the countryside, the man pondered how easy it would be to come lost out here, or worse, to disappear completely. As she took a drink, the woman dislodged a small rock, knocking it off the edge and sending it falling hundreds of feet into the water below.
My
She
God.
felt a chill as she realized how easy it would be to fall off, and how slim the chances of survival would be.
That's so high up.
They thought they were completely alone. However, this changed when they realized they could hear the sound of footsteps heading up the hill behind them. The man could make out the silhouette of a single person who had stopped and was just standing there.
The heck?
Although this wasn't particularly unusual, it still didn't feel quite right, so he told his girlfriend that he thought it would be best if they kept moving. She nodded in agreement, and they set off to find an area to camp for the night.
They're camping.
As night fell over the forest, the temperature dropped quickly.
How cold is it
Fortunately
gonna
for the
be?
couple, they'd managed to set up their tent while they still had light, and had set up a campfire on which they cooked their dinner.
Wow.
They then sat and relaxed, staring deeply into the fire as they reflected on the day that had just gone, and excitedly pondered the next few days and what lay ahead.
That's actually a very good place to camp.
They soon retired to the tent and were asleep within minutes, thanks to the efforts of the day. The forest was at no time completely silent. There are dozens of nocturnal animals in Australia, and due to this, at night the forest comes alive with the sound of insects and marsupials. The couple felt quite comfortable sleeping to these sounds of nature, and felt they were nothing particularly out of the ordinary, until the man was awoken by the sound of what he thought was crying. He leaned over to his girlfriend and asked her if she could hear it too. However, she was in a deep sleep, clearly undisturbed by this unsettling sound. The man then sat up and opened the tent door ever so slightly in order to see if he might be able to discover where the crying was coming from.
No.
He was frozen with fear when he realized that a large man had sat down at their campsite and was the source of the sobbing.
That was just not
The
that
man then
man.
leaned back to his girlfriend and whispered as quietly as he could, "There's a man outside. There's a man outside the tent." Even though
Get
he
up.
shook her, she did not stir, and he realized he would be better off leaving her to sleep until he figured out what to do next. He lay there silently in the dark for several minutes, listening to the stranger talk to himself, and slowly the sobbing subsided. The man then decided that this stranger was of no threat to them, as it appeared he was either lost or homeless. Either way, he needed help, or at least someone to talk to.
No.
The man then stepped out of the tent and spoke to the stranger. "Hello," he said. "Are you lost?" "No," the man replied. "I just needed to sit and think for a moment. I saw that your fire was still smoldering, so I figured I would just sit here until I figured things out." "Oh," the man replied. "That's fine. What's the matter?" The man then sat down and spent the next few hours talking with the stranger. The stranger was at a crossroads in his life and appeared to be lacking the confidence to commit to the choices he had made. The man managed to convince him that any decision he makes would ultimately be the right one, and that sometimes it's better to follow your heart instead of your head.
That's true.
The stranger seemed re-energized by this, and thanked the man for giving him the motivation he needed to continue. The night went on, so did the conversation, until the stranger decided it was time for him to leave, and so he did. The man returned to sleep in the tent and slept through, undisturbed until the next morning when he relayed the events of the night to his girlfriend. She thought that this was indeed very odd, and thought that he was making it all up, as she hadn't slept well at all due to the man's incessant snoring. The man laughed this off, and the couple went on with their hike, spending the next few days venturing deeper into the forest, followed by a few more days in the state capital Sydney, before boarding a plane home to America. On the flight home, the man's thoughts wandered back to the unusual meeting and conversation with the strange man in the forest. His girlfriend was adamant it didn't happen, and it was indeed so bizarre he was beginning to question the reality of it himself. 4 years later, late one night in a dive bar in Chicago, the man looked up at a local news broadcast only to be shocked by what he saw. The presenter was relaying information about a serial killer who had been sentenced to jail for 7 consecutive life sentences.
That's the guy.
One for each of his victims. The report told of the dates when the victims went missing, and a feeling of terror and guilt ripped through the man as he realized that the first victim would have been around the exact time he had met this stranger.
Ivan Miller is currently incarcerated. I think I mentioned it correctly. In Australia Long Bay prison, where he will die. Okay, guys, that was the first animation. It wasn't that scary. It's like this couple going for camping, I think. Then after that, met a stranger who is supposed to be who is a murderer, where got sentenced to jail, and I think he is dead by now. So yeah, hope you guys enjoy animation number 1. Let's move on to the second animation right now. Okay guys, so for the second animation is called 10 2-sentence horror story animated. So there's 10 of them, but the video is 10 mashed up together. Let's watch. Oh my god, 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 dude, oh jeez. Number 1.
I was having a pleasant dream when what sounded like hammering woke me. After that, I could barely hear the muffled sound of dirt covering the coffin over my own screen. Number 2. I woke up to hear knocking on glass. At first, I thought it was the window, until I heard it come from the mirror again. Number 3.
No, oh my god, dude, oh my god. Yo, this cannot be happening. This cannot be happening. Why? Why does it have to do that? I mean, like, it's at night time. You're not supposed to. God dang it. Let's get back in there. Oh my goodness. Alright, number 3.
There was a picture in my phone of me sleeping. I live alone. Number 4.
You're getting stuck.
My wife woke me up last night to tell me there was an intruder in our house. She was murdered by an intruder 2 years ago. Number 5.
What?
I never go to sleep, but I keep waking up. Number 6.
Oh my god.
The last thing I saw was my alarm clock flashing 12:07 before she pushed her long, rotting nails through my chest, her other hand muffling my scream. I sat bolt upright, relieved it was only a dream.
It was
But as I saw my
12:05.
alarm clock read 12:06, I heard my closet door creak open. Number 7.
Oh no.
There's nothing like the laughter of a baby. Unless it's 1 a.m. and you're home alone. Number 8.
No.
I begin tucking him into bed, and he tells me, "Daddy, check for monsters under my bed." I look underneath for his amusement and see him, another him, under the bed, staring back at me, quivering and whispering, "Daddy, there's somebody on my bed."
No. Oh my
I
gosh.
always thought my cat had a staring problem. She always seemed fixated on my face. Until one day,
Someone behind.
when I realized that she was always looking just behind me.
Oh, my ears. Ah, jeez. Wait, my ears, my ears. Oh god. What the heck? My ears hurt. Please be number 10.
Number 10.
Finally.
Sarah!
A girl heard her mom yell her name from downstairs. So she got up and started to head down.
Sarah?
As she got to the stairs, her mom pulled her into her room and said,
I heard it too.
Oh my god.
Stay in here and don't make a sound.
Close it! Close it! Oh no! Oh my god, dude. Oh no! Dude! Oh no! That was the mother! Oh my god, dude. Oh yeah! That's the second animation actually. I forgot to give a shout out to Let's Read. Shout out to you guys for being inside my video. That was so scary. I'm gonna like that video. I'm gonna give a like. I'm supporting this thing. Yeah. So it's actually 10 of the very short films with only 2 sentences. The person only say 2 lines. So the last one is actually quite scary. So I hope you guys enjoy animation 2. Moving on to the final animation for this episode or this part, whatever you want to call it. Right now. Okay, guys, so for the last animation is called Insane Neighbor. True Insane Neighbor Horror Story Animated. And I would like to give a shout out to 1C Entertainment for being inside my video. Thank you guys for being inside my video. And yeah, it's called Insane Neighbor. Okay, I never know about this one. True Insane Neighbor. Let's watch it.
A few years back, I rented an apartment from a friend of mine. He had recently bought it and had it completely renovated. He put it up for sale but couldn't find a buyer, so I offered to rent it in the meantime. After moving in, I realized there was something wrong with the lady next door. She was about 45, but looked much older. She would sit up all night listening to Christian radio shows and talking loudly to someone. It got to the point where I couldn't sleep, so I went over to her place and asked her to keep it down. She opened her door and I got a quick peek. Her walks all had crosses painted on them in different colors, and words like Jesus and angels scribbled everywhere. The windows were painted black, letting in no light at all. It was damp, yellow-stained 50-year-old carpets, dog shit and cockroaches everywhere. No dog though. I asked her to please keep it down. She just looked at me and shut the door. Then she turned up the radio even louder.
Oh my god.
The next day I had my girlfriend staying over. I wake up in the middle of the night and see a shadow of a person next to the bed looking at us sleeping. I think I'm hallucinating, as I usually do in the dark when I'm sleeping.
Oh my gosh.
But then the shadow starts talking. It's my neighbor, and she's holding something in her hand.
So Drill, how do you know what
She
that?
broke
How
in
do you know
during
what
the
that
night,
is?
and who knows how long she stood there.
You should lock your door at night.
She says and walks out. The next morning, I hear someone making strange noises below my bedroom window. It's my neighbor, talking to herself in tongue. She has a plastic bag in her hand, with her rotting, dead dog inside. It's hot as hell outside, and I can smell death from the bag.
Oh my gosh.
At this point, I'm scared shitless. She's obviously very insane. I go upstairs and knock on another person's door and ask what the hell is going on. The guy is as scared as me. Apparently she broke into his apartment one evening as well, while he was watching TV with his kids.
My god.
He got up from the couch to get a snack, only to find her behind the couch staring at him, holding a power drill.
No.
At this stage, I'm basically shitting myself. I call the cops and they know all about her. Apparently she's a violent schizophrenic and she hasn't taken her meds, but they can't force her or enter her apartment without permission because she owns it. The only thing they can do is get her when she goes outside. I sit up for the next 2 days, waiting for her to run out of cigarettes. When I hear her leave at 2 a.m. to go across the road to the 7-Eleven, I call the cops. They have 3 cars and a special van over in less than 2 minutes. They restrain her and throw her in the van and drive off to some institution. And in less than a minute, it's like she was never there. I never see her again, but I still have nightmares about her looking at me in my sleep.
Oh my god. My gosh, dude. That is what the name is. Insane Neighbor. That's what the person said. The person said This neighbor looks insane. Yeah, insane neighbor.
Wow.
God. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It wasn't that scary at all. Like, I mean, the second animation was actually quite scary, but the first and third, I don't know what's wrong. I don't know why it's not that scary. But yeah, guys, subscribe if you guys are new, or yeah, subscribe if you guys are new. Turn on the post notification to get notified whenever time I upload a new video, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And do leave a like. Let's aim for 50 likes or more. And yes, follow all of my social medias, Twitter and Instagram. And go and visit my merch store so you can get one of these I'm wearing. And yeah, guys, I'll see you guys next time. Adios.